What episode are we on?
69.
Oh, nice.
Be an adult. This is comics. This is important. And it's fresh Floppies.
Should have set the alarm a little earlier, 'cause now you call me up. Alright, I'm not enough.
Oh, hey, what's up to our sidekicks and henchfolk out there in the Geek Nation? You're listening to Fresh Floppies. We're back, baby.
Oh, yeah.
What's a fresh floppy?
It is a single-issue comic book in periodical format that comes out on a monthly basis, but each week.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a ongoing story in the lives of these fictional characters who we all love so much.
And we rate them on a scale of...
Stale to fresh.
Stale to fresh. So we're going to get started. Oh, by the way, I'm JD of Johnny Destructo's Hero Complex. It's a comic shop in Manayunk. You come to it.
I'm not JD from Johnny Destructo's Hero Complex.
And you're all the better for it.
Yeah. Well, hey, we do our best. My name is Noel.
So let's we're gonna get right into it. Oh, you know what? Let's not get right into it. I have a question.
Yeah, what's up?
We missed last week. Was there anything last week that you were like, you're
that I was not prepared to answer that.
Me
I have
neither.
a stack over here on the side that of a bunch of stuff that I read and I really liked and I forgot all about
all of it? Okay, great. Same. We'll come back to that one.
Yeah.
So Batman, The Long Halloween, The Last Halloween from DC Comics by Jeff Loeb, Eduardo Risso with Dave Stewart and Richard Stark.
He said Jeff Loeb.
God damn it. So, all right, for those of you who don't know, back in the 90s, there was Batman. Yeah, man.
Really?
Yeah.
I just made a face of, what?
Yeah.
They reprint it every 4 years, so
That's true.
it feels like it was just yesterday.
There was Batman The Long Halloween, which was a 12-issue run that they dropped once a month, and there was a dude called the Holiday Killer, and he killed folks on the holiday in that month.
It was a very long year. Some would say a long Halloween.
Hey!
Yeah.
And then there was Dark Victory, which was the sequel. There was When in Rome with Catwoman. There was Haunted Night with a K. So Jeff Loeb and Tim Sale have been doing this little, their own little universe within the Batman mythos for decades. Sadly, Tim Sale passed away a couple years ago, I think.
Yeah, he passed away a couple years ago.
And
after they did a 0 issue of this series, apparently.
Yes.
Yes.
A prelude, yeah.
And that was out last week.
Yeah.
There's
they
a
reprinted it.
They reprinted it. It was basically the last Halloween issue 0. Mm-hmm. It's a one-shot that kind of sets this new series up.
My initial take on this was, oh, man. That just, because, Jeff Loeb was like, oh, we're going to do the third one, and I'm just going to have a bunch of other people draw it, each issue.
It's the fourth one.
Oh, yeah. What'd I say?
Third one.
Oh, okay, sure. The fourth
I just
one.
don't know if you forgot about When in Rome.
Oh, I said it. And I just
sorry.
forgot to count it.
How dare you?
And the Haunted Night. So it's the fifth one.
Haunted Night, that's right.
Yeah.
Half of that's a prequel. I hate comics.
Yeah. I hate that I love them. So, yeah, I was a little like, I don't know. But apparently I didn't realize that they were working on this already. So that was my fault.
No,
I was
it's not
like,
your fault.
Okay. He wants to finish what they were doing because they were both really into it. That's cool. I like that a lot.
And Eduardo Risso is just doing the first issue, I think?
That sucks, dude. As soon as I opened this, I was like, oh my God, Eduardo Risso is the perfect dude to pick up the reins on this series.
Basically, yeah, he's got the same...
Perfect.
He doesn't have the same style. He has a similar style.
Yeah.
And the
Very
heavy inks is really great. Yeah.
Very noir.
The next issue, I think, is Mark Chiarello?
I don't know who that is.
I don't know. I know the name, but I just don't remember what he's done or does.
He had something to do with the cover of this book because in the back it says Tim Sale cover with Mark Chiarello, so it looks like he took a sketch.
Is he maybe his inker or
That's what I'm
colorist or a guy that's worked with Tim Sale for a very, very long time? Oh, Klaus Jansson's the next one. My bad.
Oh, even worse. I'm sorry, I do not. I'm sure he's a lovely bloke. I hate his art so much. It just seems like I've inked Frank Miller so much that I kind of draw like him, but way worse.
Wow.
Sorry.
Can't wait for issue number 2. What'd you think of issue number 1?
Oh, I loved it. I thought I actually went back and started reading Dark Victory again because I realized I've read Long Halloween a ton.
Yeah.
And Dark Victory, I was like, other than it introducing Robin, no idea what that book's about.
This past week we watched the Penguin TV series.
I missed it.
It was very good. But they introduced a couple of characters. I was like, I know that name of that character, and I know what they're. Let me go back, and I actually looked it up, and it's stuff in Dark Victory.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so like some characters are introduced, and it's just like that that Falcone member of a family. I know that name.
Yeah.
It's all the Long Halloween series stuff. It's very cool.
Yeah. But now I'm like really back into it. I've been enjoying the Long Halloween revisit. And then this picks up exactly where you'd want it to. And it feels exactly like it's in that universe.
How you digging? So, how would you rate it?
Fresh AF.
Fresh AF.
Yeah, I really like this.
I really enjoyed it, but I have in the last I want to say 5, maybe even 10 years. I'm tired of the Long Halloween.
Oh, no kidding. Okay.
Very much so. Because
too long.
It's too long.
Yeah.
So the Halloween is too long. I had that absolute in my shelf for so long. Read it dozens of times. Read all of them dozens of times.
There you go.
And then they got really, really popular again, like 5-10 years ago. Yeah, man.
I always sell it. I always pick it up and hand it to people.
The omnibus reprint. They reprinted all of the series in hardcover, and then this and that. There was a movie adaptation, and then they were kind of shoving it down our throats when the Batman was coming out. It's just it's like an influx of lots of Jeff Loeb, Tim Sale, Long Halloween.
Okay.
And I love looking at it more than I remember enjoying it.
Sure.
So I really liked this issue, but it had all the same kind of I don't know. I guess I'm bored with this type of Batman, this noir Batman.
Okay.
I've read so much of it. It's probably just an issue of me more than anything else. But
Well,
this is really
like I said,
strong.
I haven't revisited Dark Victory since it originally came out in issues.
Mm-hmm.
So I have not, and I don't remember Haunted Night, Dark Victory. I don't think I ever read When in Rome.
Yeah, I did.
So it's all new to me except for Long Halloween.
Enjoy it. It's fantastic. But I feel the same way about the Long Halloween that I do about Hush. It's like, everyone needs to read it. It's great. There's a lot other stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's another one I haven't revisited since I read it. I remember being really mad about the Jason Todd reveal.
Well, it's because, back then, too, there was no internet, only Wizard Magazine, and you waited 3 months for the next issue. So everybody speculated heavy on their little bubbles and got really pissed about the Jason Todd stuff.
Pour one out, though, for Wizard Magazine. I miss that magazine.
I just poured it. You know what? I'm going to go back to the question you asked earlier about last week.
Coffee everywhere.
Yeah. Last week.
Yeah.
Let's talk about that really, really fast. There were some cool shit that came out last week, including The Moon is Following Us.
Yes, that was awesome. Daniel Warren Johnson and...
Sorry. Riley Rossmo.
Riley Rossmo.
Really, really good book.
That was awesome.
Really, really good book. And we weren't here last week for it.
I wasn't sure about it until the end, and I was like, oh, I'm in.
The Power Fantasy continues to be awesome.
Yep.
Absolute Power Super Son was really interesting.
It
was really, really interesting. Dazzler was fine.
I do love John Kent.
And Darth Vader number 50 was really interesting.
Right?
Yeah.
Really wrapped up that whole run.
It was real solid Wicked Comics.
Yeah, it was a bummer we couldn't talk about them.
So deal with it. But you know what we can talk about?
Frankenstein?
That's right. It is Frankenstein. Universal Monsters. Image presents Universal Monsters Frankenstein issue 2, written and drawn by Michael Walsh with colors?
Tony Marie Griffin? Sure.
Colors, Tony Marie Griffin. Yeah, Michael Walsh is doing the writing, artist, and cover. So, we talked about the first issue. We both were very surprised. This was a really, really fun entry point into a story that you kind of know the beats of up and down. Same. More revelations. More revelations. More. It scratches a little deeper down the surface. This is a really, really fun book. I am not. This issue, I think, is looser than the first issue. Mm-hmm. There's a couple of character beats or time beats that are skipped.
Yeah.
So it's the back half of it's a little jerky, and it's stuff that you can yes and yada yada because it makes sense. It's just there's a lot of scene transitions that have no transition. It's just now these other people are, and I'm sorry, a lot of the adult characters are very similar looking. So we skip to another room, and there's these other two people talking, and it's not the same two people that were just talking the other room about the same topic. And you're like, oh, wait a second. I missed the part where somebody walked out or walked in.
Right.
Like there's just a couple of little rhythmic beats that kind of tamper down the panel progression, which is really awesome panel work and really awesome like layouts. It's just there's a little bit missing, but it's still great.
I really like his artwork a lot. Yeah, I think he's great.
What did we talk about this last time? Where did Michael Walsh come from?
No idea.
And what did he do before? I remember looking it up and being like, "Oh, I heard about that book," but no,
I'd never heard the name before. I'm glad to find him. He's great.
Yeah, like this is obviously a passion project of his.
Look at the cover for the next issue that he drew.
I know.
Holy cats!
This of all the Universal Monster books, this one is the only one that I am really looking forward to the next one. Yeah, the other ones are like, oh, that's fascinating. Oh, that's kind of cool. This one's like, yo, what?
Next.
Okay.
I did like the Black Lagoon, Creature from the Black Lagoon.
I liked the first issue I read, but
I haven't had a chance to catch up.
It's also if I didn't have a chance to catch up either, but if I really wanted to, I would have.
Yeah. Okay.
This one, like, and I will probably still go back and read all these when they're collected and like as a whole tome.
Yeah.
How cool this project is.
Yeah.
This is the only one that I'm like, what? Where are they going next? This is kind of cool. Like, it's a different beast.
For sure.
Speaking of a different beast, let's talk about Distillery. Let's talk about the. Oh, this is a new segment, Distillery Corner.
Yeah, I guess.
Because it's more than one distillery book came out this week. I want to talk about The Missionary, written by Ryan Stegman with art by Jason Howard. First line of the book. How do you feel about that?
My name is Bryce Hunter, and I've never gotten a blowjob. I was like, oh, okay.
Cut 2. So I'm between a rock and a hard place. There are pieces of this book that I really liked a lot. Yes. And then there are pieces of this book that I can't stand.
It just feels so edgelordy, some of it.
Oh yeah.
It's like, he's got it's like a Venom, right? It's like Venom where you've got this dude and a symbiote of some sort in him that he's talking to that can take control of whenever, if he wants to. But it's a demon. And I do like the personality of the demon. He's a pretty chill demon. Like, it's all right.
There are like 4 plots happening at once, and I do think the book is structured pretty poorly. But there's a lot of cool in here. And I think that they pull back and focus on the stuff that's not cool at moments of, I wanted more of that. Mm-hmm. So like the whole conceit that heaven stores its prisoners on earth. So prisoners from the original, war between angels and demons. The demons or the angels that fell are imprisoned on earth. Because on Earth, 1,000 years feels like 1,000 years. It's an actual prison. That's pretty cool. So you've got these rogue demons who are breaking in, taking over, freeing all of them. And at the same time, you also have these, I want to say like FBI-style exorcists who go from town to town. You just don't know enough yet.
No idea, yeah.
They're militant priests, and they're kind of assholes. And they know something's going on. And then at the same time, you have this disaffected, boring as hell idiot who breaks into or finds his wife cheating on him with his pastor. And then he gets possessed by this pretty chill demon who I'm assuming is connected to all this other stuff. Mm-hmm. But we don't know yet. So it's a comedy book of the possession part at the same time as being kind of like a very, very high concept war between heaven and hell being reignited, coupled with a tongue-in-cheek version of like, I don't know, the Pope's Exorcist or Constantine. It does one incredibly well, one incredibly slapdashery, where everyone's got a crazy name and I can't hold on to what the hell's going on. Yep. And then the other one is just kind of there.
Yeah.
alone, each one of those would be interesting if we just kind of spent time to explore it.
Yeah.
But this book kind of goes everywhere all at once. And as soon as I'm starting to like jam with it, it cuts out and it goes someplace else that I'm good to not.
Yeah. This was barely fresh for me. I was excited because I love Ryan Stegman's. Well, I used to love Ryan Stegman's
I love
art.
Ryan Stegman's art.
It sort of evolved past my taste, I think, a little bit. But I was really curious to see how this goes. I also wasn't super into Jason Howard's Big Girls. Sort of felt similar to me in that it wasn't quite where it needed to be.
Yeah.
So yeah, this wasn't really for me. I think some of the ideas are pretty cool. Some of the scenes are really cool.
Absolutely.
And I do like this demon that has grafted itself onto this schmo. Other than that, I don't think I care.
Part of me wonders about the format of these distillery books. They're oversized, they're a little longer, and so far they've only been 3 to 4 issues tops.
Yeah.
Mostly 3. If this was a traditional comic book, 20 pages, a little smaller, a little bit more consistent, I almost feel like it would be better. Like, can we just get one full first issue of Schlepp meeting Demon and then being possessed? Wait till like issue 2 or 3 to introduce this other insanity, because all it does is muddy up your hope or potential to relate to the main character. It's just a lot of noise.
Yeah. It feels like
all
it's
good
all
ideas,
at 12.
all fun enough ideas in order to hold on to, but they're just fucking all over the place.
It feels like a stew that's not.
It's way too much salt.
Yeah. And I think part of the problem is with this format, which is magazine sized. It feels like, I don't know, it's my own expectations, but I would feel more like, oh, we need a story that really matches this format, and it just does. They don't really. Most of them don't feel that way to me.
I think maybe the secondary story here maybe would have matched that format, but it's just cut away constantly with finding his pastor getting blown by his wife.
Presentation is A+.
Oh yeah, I think I'm usually more not annoyed, but just like I'm just more blah about books that are like 70% awesome. Yeah. That 30% really. I wish this was just terrible.
Yeah.
I wish this was just bad.
Yeah, you hate mediocre more than you hate bad.
Yeah, and this was just mediocre.
But however, speaking of the three issue format, because I thought all of the distillery books were 3 issues. So we read SpectreGraph #1 by James Tynion IV and Christian Ward and Aditya Bidikar. And I liked the first issue. I thought it was a really good setup, especially being a parent. The setup of this woman is going to go show a house and she's late, and she forgot that she left her son in his high chair, and she's driving like over an hour away, and she tries to get her friend to go watch the kid, but the woman can't leave work. And she's like, all right, I'm just going to go show the house, and I'm just going to go right back because I'm too late. I can't go back now. I'm just going to leave the kid there. He'll be fine. And then she gets sucked into a ghost house and can't leave. So the idea of that is so visceral for me of like, oh my God, I got to get back. So I thought it was a really cool setup. And the idea of building a house and a contraption inside the house, which will create ghosts, I thought was a neat idea. And so I was like, I'll catch up with issue 2 and 3 and that'll be the end of it. Nope. I read issues 2 and 3 and it still says to be continued. So I don't know how long this is going to go. Probably 4. But it's also very, very good. I'm a big James Tynion fan. And there's a lot of character work being done in here with our main character and like her past and her relationship and where the kid comes from. And also the woman who lured her there to set the trap. She's trapped in there with her. So they're having to deal with each other. And it's really interesting. This was great. I really liked this. This
awesome.
Was very fresh.
Sure.
Yeah, I liked it a lot.
Yeah, I liked the first issue. It made me angry in a good way. So I will eventually go back in this. Who's the artist again? It's Christian Ward. Yeah. I was going to say you're flipping through it. It looks like Christian Ward.
Yep.
Who was just announced for a Two-Face book.
Neat.
Yeah. I mean, writing it.
Okay, we'll see.
Neat.
Yeah. Neat.
I'm going to talk about dumb stuff. By dumb, okay, so there's a type of comic book.
IP stuff.
There's IP stuff.
Yeah.
And then when IP stuff runs cold, you just mash IPs together.
Yeah.
And then you charge an extra $1. So 2 IP books came out today. 2 IP mashups came out today. The first one I want to talk about is Mighty Morphin Power Rangers Usagi Yojimbo, written by Ryan Parrott with art by Sean Daly and James Fenner.
Oh, Parrott. He writes the main Mighty Morphin.
Yes, he is the Mighty Morphin Power Ranger. And this is the first time I've ever read Usagi that's not written by Stan Sakai. This is a one-shot, one and done, thicky boy.
I like that.
The Rangers are mysteriously brought to this anthropomorphic animal, feudal Japan. And they are at odds with Usagi, but then realize that maybe they're on the same side.
What?
Fight. Zords, rad, fun.
Yeah, good.
Yeah,
you liked it.
It's
How does Usagi fight a Zord?
He's
just a little guy with.
He doesn't
a sword.
fight the Zord. He fights and then they have Zords.
Okay.
He doesn't. So
does he have a Zord?
No. Halfway through this book, I guess this is kind of a spoiler. Halfway through this book, I started to get upset. Like, oh no, don't put Usagi in a suit and give him a monster Zord.
Big rabbit Zord.
They do not.
Okay, good.
And that's great. Because that would be, honestly, if anything, I could totally see Stan Sakai being like, yeah, you could use him, but no.
Yeah, don't you dare.
He will not be turned into a ranger or a mutant. It's just a sweet, cute little book. Like, I don't know. Like, it's very simple. It's overwritten in the right kind of ways. Like, if you watch an old episode of Mighty Morphin Power Rangers where there's just expository dumps, the art is more reminiscent of a Stan Sakai style than a Power Rangers style. It's very much the Rangers kind of being put in his world.
Yeah.
I mean, it was a very cute book. I have no notes. I'm glad it's just a one shot. I don't know if this kind of like silliness can sustain a whole miniseries.
There's something about the way they're drawing Usagi that feels so weird to me.
He looks less grizzled.
He looks like a teenager.
He looks more like the most recent animated movie.
Yes, which I haven't seen.
Yeah, me neither.
Yeah, he's got a yo-yo, I guess.
There's all kinds of Usagi stuff. Like he's in space and he's not.
There's a book called Usagi in Space, or Space Usagi.
So that was pretty fresh. Like it's
nice.
Solid. The other one that came out today was Turtles of Grayskull.
Mm-hmm.
Written by Tim Seeley with art by Freddie E. Williams III and Andrew Dahlhaus and Andrew Design. This is a book.
Yeah?
It's a book.
Has it got staples?
What I disliked and liked about this book is the same thing. It is nuts, stupid nuts. Mm-hmm. It's structured in such a way where, we cut in and the teens are already in Eternia and they're just recapping what got them there and how they've been there with Splinter and April. And I immediately thought, like, is this like, I looked at the cover. Is this a part 2? Is this somewhere else? Like, no. We're just doing it.
In media res, yeah.
And then things transpire. Like, they've merged villains, which is always kind of fun. They merged this, they merged that. The fucking Crying is selling mutagen to Skeletor.
Sure, yeah.
Whatever.
Sure.
But then it gets all timey-wimey and we go back and then characters I've never heard of, even in like the pantheon of characters, are reversing and changing, and like it got really complicated for a very stupid premise.
Is it also a one shot?
No.
Okay.
Thank God, because whatever. One thing that I loved more than anything else, the turtles all got redesigns, Eternia redesigns, and every single turtle is dressed after a version of He-Man. You know how we've had a bunch of different types of like
Yes.
redesigns of He-Man? Each of them.
Mikey has a blonde wig.
Mikey's got like he's like the classic looking He-Man, and then there's the more 90s He-Man with the big H on his chest, and that's Leonardo, and then there's like the techie one. Whoa. All four of the turtles kind of got a redesign that is akin to each toy line.
So dumb.
Which I thought was kind of funny.
Fun. Yeah.
But the book, it opens in a very interesting way where it's just like, oh my god, they're throwing me in. This is really cool, and then it just backtracks on itself and becomes a little bit more convoluted than it needed to be. And I kind of lost the plot. I was like, oh, this doesn't care that I don't know those deep references.
Yeah.
Cool.
Time loop.
Yeah, I don't even know what's going on. Like they're all of a sudden in a different place, in different clothes, at a different time. And I didn't recognize any of it.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot of book. I'm cool. I'm totally. Yeah, he's a mutant.
I like that they're drawing. What is her name?
Sorceress.
She's crying, and she's also got snot coming out of her nose.
Yeah, well, those are tears coming out of her nose. Duh.
This looks
magic.
pretty gnarly, actually.
Mm-hmm.
Like Skeletor looks awesome.
And that's what it was. It's such a weird comic how it's structured, because all the cool stuff of like they make allusions to mutating baddies, He-Man baddies, and doing this and doing that. You just see them in a big old splash page. You don't actually get to see this stuff happening.
Yeah.
And maybe that's a function of the book. Later issues are going to go back and do this and do that.
Right.
But it started out at 60 miles an hour and then got confusing and halted.
Oh, that's a shame. It looks fun.
Maybe the whole thing will be fun together. I don't know, but I was really impressed and kind of enjoyed how it started with this crazy recap.
Okay. I don't know how to feel about it. I'll have to check it out.
Yeah.
Similarly,
Soul. Yeah.
Chasm, Curse of Kaine, #2 came out.
So you loved issue 1. Biggest fan. 10 stars.
Not so much. Steve Fox and Andrea Brocardo and Brian Reber and Joe Caramagna. Man, Scarlet Spider and Ben Reilly and Kaine just cannot catch a break and have like a really, really good series for a while. It's been a while. This is fine. It's okay. I'm sticking with it because I'm a Ben Reilly guy. I literally have him tattooed on my arm. And I really do. I'm getting through this. Yeah, okay, let me backtrack. Amazing Spider-Man 1 and 2. Not great movies. Mm-hmm. But I adore them because of the chemistry between Andrew Garfield and Emma Stone. Mm-hmm. I could watch those two do anything. Mm-hmm. They're so cute together. I am plowing my way through this book because I like Ben Reilly and I like their romance. No, Hallows Eve.
No, Kaine. It's a two-hander.
And I like the idea, like they're using her masks in an interesting way. Mm-hmm. She's trying to fix Ben. I won't tell you how, but she uses one of her masks to try to fix Ben's memories, which is kind of a great idea. I love Kaine just being a shitty superhero and being like, isn't there someone? Come on, there's got to be someone else to do this. I got to leave this for someone who cares. He's just trying to track down Ben because he feels responsible for him. So it's got some interesting stuff. I don't know why they decided to take the dude from the Eternals and put him in this book.
Druid.
I don't care about him. I don't quite understand what he does.
Mind manipulation. Mind control.
Why is he here?
Because Chasm has a history of memories being... He's basically an empty vessel. Yeah. And that's his whole thing. So yes, having a villain from another, like a surprise villain from another kind of set of books to, want to manipulate him or thwart him or use him makes sense.
I do like that it goes back to, you see Doppelganger in this book? Do you remember Doppelganger?
No.
He was from Infinity War, where all of the heroes had evil versions of them, and Spider-Man's evil version was a monster who was humanoid but had all of the arms, like when he grew all the arms and he had a mouth on his mask. Mm-hmm. He's in here. And we have...
Where? Show me.
What's his name?
Can we?
What's the guy's name? The from... Feral? No. The guy who lives in the sewers. Vermin.
Can Doppelganger fight Wreck Rat? Oh, dope. Yeah, I want Doppelganger to fight Wreck Rat.
I think they could be pals.
I don't know. Oh, you know what? No, it's a one-sided friendship. Wreck Rat thinks they're best friends, and Doppelganger's like, oh, fuck you. Yeah. I hate you so much.
I'm going to eat this dude. So it's fine. It's fine.
Sounds like you loved it.
It's got some good bits.
I'm going to gaslight into you loving it. It sounds like you loved it. You talk about it all the time.
I'll tell you what I did, though. I got my Chasm action figure in the mail.
Yeah, it's a good one.
I got him. I got my Ben Reilly figure, and I've got my Chasm Ben Reilly figure.
Did you get your Hallows Eve yet?
No, she's next. I'm waiting a month in between, pacing myself.
Arbitrarily waiting a month in between.
But I'm definitely gonna get it.
Let's stop on Spidey Corner, or let's continue on Spidey World.
Let's wrap up Spidey Corner.
I will very quickly talk about. You didn't get a chance to read Ultimate Spider-Man number 9.
Oh, that's true. I did.
I did, and I continue to love this book.
Wonderful.
It's a slow burn. I know people say that a lot, but how do you not love a slow burn when it's fascinating conversations and Marco Cicchetto art?
Hickman do write good.
Yeah. I know this is not the Spider-Man book that
I want.
Yeah, but I'm still immensely fascinated by it. Maybe I would feel more of a void if I wasn't enjoying ASM as much. Mm-hmm. These are different books, and I almost celebrate them for that.
Yeah,
but
that's a good point.
There are some really, 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 really wonderful bits of character in here. Every book is a month later, so we've got we jump into Ben and JJ and their success with launching the paper. But then also a bunch of really great stuff with Harry Osborn and Peter and Otto. I love this little dynamic between the three of them because it's shades of ambiguity. Like Harry, you're just kind of waiting for something to go wrong, but he doesn't necessarily have to make a bad choice. Whereas Otto is like 20% in the other direction of like, man, I don't trust this fucking guy.
Yeah.
And even Peter vocalizes it. Mm-hmm. This is really fun.
Nice.
We also get a new 2 new spider suits.
Ah, nice. I love a new spider suit.
Speaking of new spider suits, Amazing Spider-Man number 58. No, there's not one. Just
I was
kidding.
going to say, what?
Yeah, you didn't read the same book as me. He's got a new suit. It's
Legacy
got
952.
blood all over it.
Oh, my God. By, who's this by? Oh, Zeb Wells and John Romita Jr. This is 30... Nah. It's a minute and a half of story. I was going to say 30 seconds. It's a minute and a half of story in one issue. And when it was done, it goes so fast that when it was done, I was like, oh, we're done. Oh, okay. Oh, okay, I guess we're done. All of this could have been in the previous issue, I think. But I guess they want to drag it out and make it seem like the most brutal fight of all time. And it's like, that's fine.
I mean, I think that's the point. I just, it was a quick read, but I didn't feel... There's a couple of, if this was in the last issue, this is like the end of Act 1 of this arc, or the beginning of Act 2. So, we had a really, really great last issue, in my opinion, of setting up this new dichotomy of Janice going state's evidence and Tombstone feeling he needs to straight up murder his daughter.
Yep.
That is wild. And this is all climax. This whole issue is climax, and it's brutal, and it's... I mean, I think this is great, Romita.
It's good, Romita.
There's some stuff in here that's just so incredibly cool.
Yeah. My favorite part of this issue, it's going and going and going, and then it's a to be continued, but the to be continued is the cover of the next issue.
Yeah.
I wish they were doing this the whole time. What a great idea.
There is a wonderful 2-page spread, it's a handful of beats. It's not a full 2 pages. It's just 2 pages of a sequence where Janice is jumping out the window. Peter is holding Tombstone back. She gets out the window, but trips and falls, and Peter goes to save her, but Tombstone grabs him by the back of the head, hanging out half the window, and pulls his body back into the brick wall.
Yeah.
There is some stuff in here that is just... it's incredibly creative violence.
Even though...
And I thought that was cool as hell.
What?
Yeah.
Nope, you got me.
Yeah,
that was me.
That's just it. Like,
so fun.
Yeah, he thinks he actually succeeded in murdering, and it's just like, oh, what did I do? No, it was just me. You got me. Yes, this is...
it's a great fight. It just, I feel like the issue felt too quick. That's all. There's great beats in here.
Read it.
Literally, beats.
Read it twice.
Yeah. Read it slower.
I really like this a lot. I like this in context. Yes, if I just pulled this issue alone, it's like, oh, $3.99 for an extended fight scene. Cool. Yeah. In the context
$4.99.
Sorry, in the context of everything else, I actually thought this was wonderful.
When this is part of the trade.
Yeah. It's going to be so awesome.
Great. Yeah.
Also, it helps that this book is bi-weekly. I don't have to wait very long for the next one.
True.
Yeah.
But, all right. Did we do it?
Yeah, that's all of them.
What are you looking forward to this week?
I am looking forward to Lobo cancellation special. I don't like Lobo.
No.
But
he's okay.
I don't like him.
I like him when he shows up. I don't like him. Although he shows up in... Didn't he show up in Super Sun last week's? Or was that Origin? It was Origin.
Wasn't what I read.
I was reading Power... Absolute Power number whatever. Secret Origins or whatever. Absolute Power Origins.
There's a lot of, I don't know,
number
in there.
3 or 4. I forget the name of it. And Lobo shows up there to become part of Task Force S. Like, how did you even get him into the room? Like, that's so weird. He felt out of place is my point.
Yeah, but...
I don't know.
I love Kyle Starks. And this is Kyle Hott's art, which is some of the best Kyle Hott's art I've ever seen.
Kyle Starks wrote this?
Yeah, man.
Oh, that's why you wanted me to read it.
Yeah.
Damn it. I should have read it. I was like, why does he want me to read Lobo? Is he just trying to torture me? He's just being a dick? Oh, it's Kyle Starks.
Sure. Yeah, Kyle Starks. I'm looking forward to reading this. I think it looks fun. It looks like a nice one-shot. I did flip through it, and the very first editor note made me crack up.
That is hilarious.
So I'm like, okay, I get where this book is going. Also, too, like the first bit of dialogue, you know, like it basically sets up an old man Lobo who's been plowing fields at some planet for a long time, and he's like, I finally did it. And then the actual farmers are like, the work is haphazard and sloppy, as if done by a Nork-brained Florgan. The seed will not take in this mess. Your presence is truly continues to be a pox on all our people. He's like, hey, so you don't want me to work? Whatever. Like this is tongue firmly planted in cheek. I'm very looking forward to this.
It's just, and Lobo can be indicative of a time called the 90s where everything was so edgy.
Speaking of edgy, the new X-Men is out this week too, or Uncanny X-Men. It's
Uncanny.
not edgy at all, but it just whatever.
And NYX.
Pockets.
And
pouches and pockets.
Laura is getting her own book called Laura Wolverine.
Laura Kinney Wolverine.
Laura Kinney.
And
Laura
it's
Kinney Wolverine.
Erica Schultz.
Yeah.
I'm
curious to see that. I love Laura. I still haven't finished the Omnibus though. I got to finish that.
It's so good.
So good. All right, guys. Thanks so much for hanging out with us tonight. Well, Wednesday night, depending on when this goes up, we are on the live stream talking about... I don't know.
Onyx the Fortuitous and the Talisman of Souls.
I'll tell you, I have really come around on... I have it in my cart to buy the Blu-ray. When I first watched it, I was like, oh, this is just... It's fine. It's cute. It's whatever. And then the more I watch Onyx videos and the way that he has been promoting this movie that he made on Kickstarter... Fucking hell. Just the hot ones... the Google questions, answering Google questions, the Disney, going to the Disney park. It's so fun.
Letterboxd reviews, the AI prompt one.
Oh, I didn't see that one.
It's a wonderful.
It is.
It's a wonderful little movie.
It's the most creative marketing campaign, and he just seems to be just doing it by himself. He can't be, because obviously someone's filming it and editing it and all that other stuff. But like the way he puts himself into... At first I thought it was real, because he puts himself into the interview so seamlessly that I was like, how did they even... Oh, I see. He's editing himself into it.
Yeah, if anybody doesn't know what we're talking about, go to on YouTube. He's got Andrew Bowser is the name of the actor, writer, director. Go to Bowser Vids on YouTube and just pop around.
Yeah.
Yeah, Onyx the Fortuitous is a wonderful character who he made a movie about, and it's we'll talk about it
on the show
this Wednesday.
Yeah.
Join us this Wednesday to talk about it on the show. It's really fun.
All right, thanks so much for hanging out with us, and we'll talk at you later.
Do.
Doodle-dee.
Alright, whatever helps you sleep at night. 'Cause you can never tell what it is.
Thank you for listening to the CultPop Network, home to podcasts, live shows, and a whole lot of fun stuff for every flavor of fan. Follow us wherever you find your favorite podcasts, and be sure to join us live every Wednesday night at youtube.com/CultPopGo at 8 p.m. Eastern. While you're there, be sure to subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon so you'll know when we drop new Thunder Rounds and episodes of Fresh Floppies, a spoiler-free show about single-issue comics released each week. Until then, we'll talk at you later.